What's going on, YouTube? Earth Power here with CVH.
How's it going, everybody? That was terrifying.
Yeah, you're welcome. I told you, it's only going to get worse from here. CVH should just start this video and take you right into it so we can get
Yeah,
through
what are
this
what
thing.
are we playing as I start this video?
Oh man, it is play in leg 4 time. You guys saw the deck profiles in the video a few days ago. I know timelines have been wonky, guys. Work schedules have been just nightmarish the past couple of weeks, but I promise we're trying to get back to some normalcy here on the channel. But yeah, we have today the play in leg 4. We have Deformer Burn, 4 Civ. I'm going to screw up the letter, so I'm not even going to try to say it.
Water, Dark, Fire,
Versus
Nature.
Thank you.
You're
Versus
welcome.
3 Civ Survivors. Yeah, Dark Fire Nature.
You can't get it right.
So
None of these
back,
decks have light, Carl. You just
no,
all over.
we're yeah, back to basics with Survivors. Trying to build just kind of a more optimized list from season 1. Your hand looks great for Deformer Burn,
Yeah, it
minus the
really
fact that
does.
minus the thing that but I think when I saw there, you have the best 2 cards to open with, but you just got to get to
The
the
Reap
other
and Sow,
actual burn
right?
cards. Yeah, the cool thing about Deformer Burn, and the reason why we included it in play-in was I
Because it
got
gave you the
absolutely
hands.
wrecked
Okay. No, you were
by
going to admit it anyway. It's
Gnosis.
fine.
Yeah, absolutely wrecked by Gnosis playing a version of this deck. So I adapted, from what I could remember of the deck, a 40 card version, and yeah, we just jammed it here in this tournament and paired it up against Survivors because Survivors just continues just not to have a great time, and yeah, wanted to make it happen.
Yep. So here
But
I
Survivors
did want
playing,
to point out. Oh, you're playing Slash Charger, but I did want to point out I played
yeah,
Fairy Life instead of Essence Self there because I need to find Fire mana, and playing the card that gets mana off the top gives me another shot at the colors I need to unlock. And Essence Self is also weak to some removal in the deck, so
yeah,
better solid
um,
line to ramp.
yeah. But I saw Slash Charger, which is fun. It's the one of in the deck now that it's limited to one for season 3. Which lets me get a Grave Worm online early. So, unfortunately, if you continue to mana burn me, I will never get to 5 mana, and that's the cool thing about Deformer Burn. If the hands play the way you want them to, you can still get your ramp up to Lost Soul while keeping your opponent under 4 mana if you're on the play, and that's just neat.
It is
And I
really neat.
think here it is. Yep, and there's the Lost Soul. And just right on cue, that's Deformer Burn doing its thing. So now I'm at 4 mana, you're at 7, and now you can just play the deck as intended. This is where Deformer shines in this version of the deck, is you kind of just get to ramp to the Lost Soul, and then if you have Deformer, it reloads the hand, continues to take the opponent off of mana that they can't play, because they'll be at 2 cards in mana at that point, and you start attacking. It basically plays the same as Fortress Burn at that point. They're at 2 mana, so you just start swinging, and unless they just have ridiculous shield triggers, you're pretty much in a good way.
Why are we reading Miraculous Plague? Anyway, it's also where Bolzard and Plague still shine, because, like, hey, you're ahead. You can just give your opponent cards and the mana, as you said, and these are all cards that you're not really going to be playing anytime soon, and Bolzard is really only weak to Terra Pit or Soul Swap and shields here. Or I guess
Yep.
Soul Swap from hand gets the job done if you go up to 3, but there aren't a lot of outs, is the point.
Yeah, that Blastosaur is not going to do much. I'll tell you what. So the one good thing, I guess, that I have in this deck versus playing against another like Fortress Burn deck is Deformer Burn loses out on some key removal. Um, it doesn't really have the stain power. Like it's not going to top deck as well as a deck like Fortress Burn. So if you can kind of starve them on cards, if they're not seeing their Deformer, you're in a good way. But we actually put 3 Fortress Shell in here, which is different from Gnosis build. Yeah, I don't think he was running the card at all.
Yeah,
He just
I mean,
leaned in before a Deformer.
Deformer would have been great there too, but any of them really at this point is
Yeah,
going to be really solid.
yeah, absolutely. So I'm just hanging out at 1 mana. You're just picking away at shields, and Blazosaur's out here just looking cute, you know. And
It's not a
oh yeah,
fortress game if you don't get your opponent down to 0 mana.
yeah, yeah.
Truly.
So I'm just sad. I was just over here playing solitaire. Oh, I tear pit one. How
You do?
neat. Has
Yeah.
itself swings for game. Yep. So that's game 1. Yeah,
Yeah,
True.
that
All right.
went. It's not even that your hand was that bad. It's that I had a better one, and
Yeah.
that's why I think we were talking about like, is this deck broken or is it sort of like a glass cannon? Because when you get ahead and you stay ahead, it looks like the best deck on the planet because it's like, oh, I'm just gonna play the whole game, and your opponent's gonna have like 2 or 3 mana max, and my late game is a
Right.
thing. Your late game doesn't exist. But if
Right.
you get behind, to that end, you get ahead, you always stay ahead. But if you get a little bit behind, there's really like no way to get back in the game. Like if you miss your
Well,
two and
right.
like,
That's what I'm saying. So like, right, Deformer, if it misses its two, because it's only playing the 8, it's playing the 4 Essence Elf and the 4 Fairy Life. And if you miss it, like all of a sudden your opponent's now playing at 5 mana,
Hmm?
versus 4. Like if this deck goes first and it hits its perfect curve, your opponent never gets past 3 mana,
yeah,
which is wild to think about. And yet the deck can just do this, and that's why you're playing 4 of Mana Crisis, 4 of Reap and Sow, 4 of Fairy Life, 4 of Essence Cell, 4 of not well, 3 of Lost Soul. But regardless, like when you do all of that, the last half of your deck also needs to be strong and supportive. And you got to cut some things to be able to hit a curve like that. And unfortunately, when you miss that curve, just everything falls off and
yeah. I think
goes
Nasus's
downhill.
deck was actually playing like 2 Lost Soul, 4 Plague, and I think that's a better ratio when you think about
Yeah.
things because it's like
Yeah.
you don't really need to discard your opponent's cards. They can't play them anyway. So there's
Hey,
that.
everybody saw me try to put a slash charger in my mana zone or in my graveyard.
I forgot about that. That's classic. That's
Yeah.
great.
So yeah,
Uh,
fingers crossed here. If you don't have Mana Crisis, I might actually be in this game. But if you hit your curve again, it's just all over. It's an exact mirror of game one. At least that's the way it's looking right now.
yeah, at this point, it's been like
So,
maybe 2 months since we've played this. I really don't remember if I had Mana Crisis. I don't. I have Stream, which isn't like, not a bad card, but now I'm worried about your Survivor engine coming online this turn, and again, just getting a little bit behind on board, and maybe I won't be able to recover.
yeah. Fortunately for you, I don't have Grave Worm in hand, or maybe I do.
When did the Grave Worm and mana go into mana? Oh, I guess
Because I had
earlier today. Oh, this is good.
I had Bronze Arm Soul Swap, and that's why I maned the Grave Worm. Um,
That's
so
good. Are there any
figuring I would.
multi-civs that could have screwed you over there?
No, I don't think so.
I guess
Yeah,
not.
not.
Yeah, not in this deck. It's a
Yeah.
heads up play,
So
gets you a mana ahead, which is kind of important in this matchup.
yep. So Grave Worm down. I'm at 6 mana, Fortress in hand, um, and whatever other card I'm holding, which I think might be our Gargantua. So really just trying to get there. If I can, that's the other thing too, is Fortress is playing the 4 of Surfer, which is a great defensive trigger, but no Terror Pit. So if I can just put a few creatures down on board, um, I don't think the Surfer engine's going to be good enough to get you there. So realistically, I could probably break here, just seeing how big your hand is, but I'm not sure that I actually go for that yet.
Yeah, at this point of the game, I remember being pretty demoralized. There are like I'm already quite far behind on board actually, and the engine is so powerful, the Survivor engine. Like even if I'm lucky enough to have another Plague for turn 6 next turn, it really only just buys me a turn. You can just replay the Survivor that you keep, which would probably be Grave Worm, get back the Factory Shell, and here we go again, right? There isn't really a solid way to get out of this Survivor end
Yeah,
game loop for my deck if I'm already behind
right.
on mana.
Well, and that's the thing. Like the way you do it is, unfortunately, you just have to have a lot of cards, and then you have to see them at the right time. Like the Essence Elf is helping for sure, but like Plague this turn is good, and then after that, you're gonna need to be able to Plague again, and like if you can follow two of them up back to back, and that's probably why Nasa's deck ran four. Back to back plagues can be enough to just set your opponent like that
Yeah.
far behind. Lost Soul's good here. I
It's
have to
cute.
top a Survivor
Yeah.
to get it going, and I do. So
Yeah. I mean,
great.
even then, though, you could just, even if I deal with this board, there are more survivors. That's what I'm saying. It's like your deck at 6 mana already. Like my cards pick off mana one at a time, essentially, except for Factory or Fortress Cell, which is several turns away. So hard
Yeah,
to imagine survivors late game not being a just completely game winning here, as we see the doubles
yeah,
search now.
yeah. The double search, get back Gargantua from my grave, which was discarded with the Lost Soul. Um, Double Fortress lets me get back. It should be Blazosaur and Grave Worm, but it looks like I'm opting.
Graveworm Sweeper?
Interesting.
Oh, maybe you thought you might get aggressive like before the Gargantua, which is a little weird because you
Yeah,
got back Gargantua, so I don't know. A
yeah,
little bit of a
yeah.
strange call.
Blazosaur should be the play, but I don't know what I was thinking in the moment. I think I was feeling spicy. So,
Feeling spicy.
we,
I mean,
we
to be
will
fair,
see.
given the deck I'm playing, if Gargantua just wasn't in the deck, you'd still probably win. You know, you would just play the other cards.
Yeah, I just set my hand down.
Appreciate
I
it.
guess I figured the issue is if you double burn me, I'm not going to be able to play Blazosaur and Graveworm in the same turn. So Skull Sweeper would be my aggressive play if you double burn me, and if you don't double burn me, um, I can just play Gargantua next turn and just start swinging regardless. So
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think.
yeah, unfortunately,
I still don't mind the other line because
Syrian
you could
Wave.
always just search the thing with
Yeah.
Blazosaur anyway. But
Yeah, sorry for the glare, guys. This might be the beginning of just awful glare on the channel for the next month, but fingers
hey,
crossed.
just so you all know, the cards on board are never gonna be glared. We've always tested
You're right.
with. You'll always be able to see what's in play. Discard piles and mana zones. That's a little bit more up in the air.
Yeah. Graveworm grabs Graveworm. Got to keep that engine alive since that's going to be the more reliable one against the mana burn deck over the course of the next couple of turns. You've set me behind. That's the other thing about survivors, right? If you can clear board on a survivor game, like it's going to take me at least 3 more turns to get back to where I was. So,
Oh yeah, that's a
um,
very slow deck for sure. Hey, here's one of those deformers. Not amazing if your opponent has about as much mana as you do. This is when the card does not necessarily shine, but on the bright side, it lets me get a miraculous plague back. So that's what I'm thinking. Doesn't even, I'm not sure how much it matters what the second card I get back is, so I decided to just get some burn. Yeah, it doesn't mana screw me, so it seems okay. And you're gonna choose survivors. What a surprise! You're getting some survivors back. Who'd have thunk?
yeah. So, um, yeah, Smash Horn here lets me activate Graveworm. I'm really just hoping to try to cycle them together. I think part of the thought process would have been to grab another Smash Horn, but um, I knew I wanted to get rid of Essence Elf there, so APOC helps me clear board if you do try to set up more silly stuff next turn. Just give me some form of out to you potentially getting aggressive. Um, Plague still hurts here, and I can probably cycle over the next couple of turns. Like I said, we're both in kind of a stalemate where we're just essentially checking each other's kings and um, not really advancing the board state at all. We're just kind of playing. Uh, I don't know. I'm running out of analogies. Help me out.
Yeah. Uh. Sorry, I was thinking about the chess
Yeah,
analogy. It was kind of interesting.
yeah.
If you're in check, you can't check the opponent's king. You gotta like get out of check. But yeah. I mean,
We're check unchecking. That's
we're
basically what's happening. AKA we're
kind of.
dirtling.
I feel like if anything, the analogy works like you're checking me because you're presenting like, okay, here's my survivor engine. You have to answer it now, and I'm like, kind of answering it for a turn, but like the inevitability of your deck makes it like look at your hand. You have so many cards in hand compared to mine, and
Yeah,
like yeah, I have the plague, but like these answers are just limited. It sounds bad. Like this is a game, you know. We're taking turns. We're going back and forth. We're doing things that interact with each other. But at the end of the day, I remember how it felt playing the match, and I had felt like the game had been lost for several turns now. I just felt like if I get behind the survivor deck, it's just gonna be this turn after turn, basically every turn. It's a grave worm or a factory shell. It's other things on board. It's gonna eventually be too much for my deck to deal with. Like we're at another situation this turn where I can plague again, and plague will buy me another turn, but then you're gonna play those same cards again and just build up the same board. And I'll run out of plagues before you run out of survivors because your survivors keep cycling
yeah,
themselves.
yeah. The way you get out of this game and deny, I guess, the inevitability of this potential game 2 loss is if you see multiple fortress shells and deformers over the course of the next 2 to 3 turns. Like you need to see them back to back to back, and plague needs to be weaved in there as well. So it's quite uphill for you.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
since I'm not providing any draw either. So really banking on not multi-bricking. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, at
Uh,
this point, I
oh,
think huh.
you don't have darkness mana. That's the conversation we're having right now.
Yeah, that's not great for me. I have a Searing Wave. Buying myself that extra turn.
Yeah, making Gargantua just kind of lethal here if it manages to make it out of these next couple of turns. And I'm setting myself up with is that 9 mana? That's 8 mana.
Oh, this deck is hurt by having Soulswap only at a 2 of. That's like a drinking
Yep.
game I'm sure people are playing at home, is how many decks I mentioned are being hurt by Soulswap at 2. This is one of them. But, you know, you and I are playing the IDC meta now, so we get to play more Soulswaps if we want. Oh no, you discarded my Plague.
Yep. Setup creature here. I'm basically going for a Gargantua win. If you can't mill me this turn, which you can't, I can play Smash Horn. You're already scooping.
Thought I was conceding. I wasn't. I was just counting my mana. I did top deck Fairy Life, though. Would have been a hilarious turn to scoop on.
Yeah. Yeah. Gigaballs to snipe the one of the last card in your hand, which was the Plague, which you couldn't find Darkness mana for. And now Gargantua is going to triple break. Go ahead and get back a few cards with Smash Horn and Gargantua play.
The nightmare
Play
is
3.
over.
Yep, and we move on to game 3 here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. Survivors continues to keep taking games off of its opponents. Can it go the distance
That was
in this play-in
probably
round?
that was like the most survivor stuff that we've got to see survivors do in any of its matches so
Absolutely.
far.
Yeah.
You know, you got the
Yeah.
worms, you got the shells, the cheap dudes. You even searched Skull Sweeper for like no reason. It never really did anything, but it's okay. But
Yeah.
it played a part. It's like I participated.
Yeah, it hung out. If you had hit me with a Mana Crisis Reaping, so that next turn I would have been really glad I had that Skull Sweeper to start discarding your hand and getting aggressive. Because like I mentioned before, you know, Deformer is just kind of at the mercy of its top decks if it does curve out. So if you can keep its options away from it and maintain aggression, then yeah, sure, you know, you're in a good spot. Skull Sweeper feigned that for a few moments.
Yeah, you're totally right. I love the color sleeves that you put on the Deformer Burn deck. That's a very nice midnight blue Dragon Shield
Yeah,
matte sleeve. Not sponsored, everybody, but they are the best
Dragon
sleeves.
Shield, Dragon Shield matte blue on your.
Yeah,
That I don't maybe, and I'm gonna call this
they're
out, and I know
different
you're gonna have
blues.
some words to use.
Here we
Well,
go.
no, not different blues, but your matte's looking maybe overly creased, like in
Yeah,
some areas. But
because
like
it's
I think it's flat. I just think it's the way it's looking on
oh
camera.
yeah, no, I mean it's very the Spellground V6 fabric, which is that one, is very thick and very prone to creases, and I did not iron it before these games, so we're going with the vintage wrinkled look. Do I have my two? I do. I have a two. You have
He's hit
Crimson
it all
Hammer?
3 games.
I did,
Not playing that card. Yeah.
but I missed my follow up last game. Let's see if I have a better card to play that's not Energy Stream this
Yeah.
time.
I
Oh, that's that's better than just an Energy Stream. That's
yeah.
oh boy, it's a spicy meatball. I'm getting excited over here again.
And just wriggling around in his chair. I drew the entire top end of my deck. If you couldn't see my hand, I've got multiple burst shot, terror pit, a couple of factory shells, a gargantua. I think
Ooh,
there's an APOC in my hand. I know. Oh, there's a lost soul in my hand for sure. So,
well, you're never
yeah,
gonna play that, I hope.
CVH is turning himself on with the double burn here.
Oh my god, that's
Oh,
brutal. I could just
yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah, you can just sit at 5 mana. The only card that you would ever need, like Deformer and Fortress, are the only
Yeah.
two cards you can't play off the top right now.
I would love to play a Bolzar Dragon sometime soon. That would be really fun on
Yeah,
this board because I can get a little bit aggro. Wonder what I'm
yeah,
holding.
can yeah. Do Slash Charger, can't play that card on turn 6.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's awful.
Where are your two Essence Elves? You need to get on that Essence Elf plan. I'm just playing Mana
Yeah,
Crisis. So I'm just like top decking Burn, which isn't like they're not really super effective cards here. I mean they are effective, but they're not really like advancing my actual plan to win the game. But they can just stall indefinitely. I'll just keep you at 1 or 2 mana, and eventually I'll draw something that has some power. You know those cards exist. Deformer is one of them. You just hey
Oh no.
Oh no. Uh, yeah. Oh, swap
Oh,
is
he
great.
doesn't. Yeah, I think we have that quick conversation of like, why aren't you grabbing stream?
Well, stream
Like,
is good. I don't really need it because swap is just gonna play Deformer again if I want. But stream this turn is
yeah,
probably better. Yeah.
but you can leave stream in next turn over. Oh, you're just attacking. Yeah,
Which
yeah, that
it's
makes sense.
gotta
I'm at
be
zero
right. You.
mana.
What are you gonna do about it? First shot would be like a little bit annoying, but you're still not playing anything for like the next turn or two.
Well, you already saw two burst shots,
Yeah,
so
that's true. I forgot I
it's
saw them
just
because
all.
they're like not in mana right now. But yeah.
Yeah, they're in my graveyard.
Yep.
I haven't
So
played them yet. I haven't played a card this
did I
game. Not one card I've played.
I just played 2 streams for 2 mana. That's busted. I'm gonna soul swap. I don't really need to do this, but I think it's funny. And that's basically the whole reason.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I decided not to. Okay. I was like, it's funny, but wrong. And
yeah.
also, I
I'm
can't
just.
actually. Oh yeah, I tried to soul swap out, but I can't actually get Deformer, which is why that didn't happen.
That makes
But here
sense.
we go. Yeah, I forgot that Deformer actually took me off of some mana. I think if I was gonna do that play, I should have played mana for turn last time. But yeah, here we are.
Hey, Blazosaur comes back. It's mirror of game one. Blazosaur can kill the. Oh my,
Oh
those are
no.
just dead.
Oh yikes. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
yep,
That's the game, boys.
that's the game.
That's all she wrote. Oh man. Yeah, so me versus burn decks, man. Not doing great out here, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed. Survivors once again just gets the hands, gets to show off a little bit in game two there. But yeah, Survivors just does not have a good track record on this channel, to say the very least.
Yeah, will it ever be another bracket tournament? I don't know. That's up to Carl, but it's looking
Yeah,
looking
see,
bad for that.
looking
Yeah.
bleak for old Survivors. But Deformer Burn felt good. You know, looks good when you see your two every game, and that's yeah, when it hits it, it just goes off. You guys saw and I mean, you didn't even really curve out there. You just kind of kept top decking Reaping Sows, and it just got you there, which is
Yeah.
awesome. So
I mean, I
yeah,
missed I missed burn right after the elf turn, but then I had 2 burn spells to make up for it the following turn. So in a way, the
yeah,
curve was
and
fine.
two elves. Yeah, two elves on board and a one cost stream.
Yeah.
Sometimes the deck just does the thing. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed. Leave a like. Deformer Burn is up against Rub Midrange, and that's coming at you here in the next couple of days. So stay tuned. Leave a like, comment down below, and until next time, guys, peace.